You know, not every good car needs to be new. Some of the best ones were built 20 years ago, strong, simple, and made to last. While today's cars are full of screens and sensors that fail too soon, these old-school machines just keep going. They start every morning, take you where you need to go, and don't cost a fortune to keep alive. And even though the world forgot about them, they're still out there, quiet, reliable, unbreakable. So today we're bringing them back. These are the Forgotten Tanks 5 cars that nobody talks about anymore, but still refuse to die. Now let's talk about one of those cars that almost everyone forgot. But the people who own them, they love them to death. The Buick Lucerne, built from 2006 to 2011, was one of the last true American luxury sedans, smooth, quiet, and built like a couch on wheels. It wasn't made to impress anyone at the stoplight. It was made to last. Most came with the 3.8-liter V6, one of GM's most reliable engines ever. Some higher trims had the 4.6-liter Northstar Vive 8, and even those, if well-maintained, can go well past 250,000 miles. The suspension soaks up bumps like a pillow, the cabin is whisper quiet, and every older owner says the same thing. It just feels solid. According to RepairPal, the average annual maintenance cost sits around $460, which is lower than most mid-size cars today. Sure, it's not the most exciting thing to drive, and the front suspension bushings can wear out over time, but the Lucerne gives you that old-school comfort and reliability that modern cars just don't have anymore. It's one of those vehicles that, once you sit in it, you remember why people fell in love with Buicks in the first place. Now this one is what you'd call a hidden luxury gem. The Acura RL, built from 2005 to 2010, was Acura's flagship sedan, quiet, solid, and ridiculously well put together. Most people skipped right over it back in the day because it didn't have the badge of a Lexus or Mercedes, but that's exactly what makes it such a smart buy today. Under the hood, you get a 3.5-liter V6 that's smooth, durable, and shared DNA with some of Honda's best engines ever made. It also came with the SHAWD system, Acura's super-handling all-wheel drive, giving it amazing grip and balance even after all these years. Inside, everything feels tight. No rattles, no cheap plastics, just solid craftsmanship. Owners regularly report crossing 250,000 to 300,000 miles with no major issues, and RepairPal lists its average annual maintenance cost around $480, which is surprisingly low for a luxury car. Sure, it's not flashy and gas mileage is average, but when you sit in one of these, you can feel that old-school Acura quality, the kind they don't build anymore. It's the kind of car that quietly says, "I'm not new, but I'm better built than most things on the road today." Here's a car that most people forgot, but the ones who owned it still swear by it. The Saab 9-5, built between 2003 and 2010, was one of the last true Swedish sedans, tough, comfortable, and surprisingly reliable when taken care of. It came from an era when Saab built cars with character, long before GM shut the doors for good. The 9.5 was safe, stable, and had one of the best turbocharged 4 cylinders of its time. That 2.3-liter turbo engine was simple, powerful, and if you change the oil and keep it cool, it can go well past 250,000 miles without complaint. Owners loved how different it felt, the ignition between the seats, the aircraft-style dash, and that solid, heavy door feeling you just don't get anymore. Sure, it's quirky, and finding some parts today might take a bit more patience, but for those who know cars, the 9.5 is a hidden gem. It's safe, smooth, and has a kind of old-world engineering that makes it stand out even today. According to iSeeCars and RepairPal, maintenance costs are moderate, about $500 per year, and it remains one of the most underrated European sedans of the 2000s. If you want something unique that'll turn heads for the right reasons, not because it's flashy, but because real car people notice, the Saab 9.5 is that car. Now this is not just a car, it's a piece of American history. The Ford Crown Victoria, built from 1998 all the way to 2011, was the definition of a workhorse. It's the car that kept America moving. Police cruisers, taxis, government fleets, and somehow, they just never seemed to die. Under the hood sat the legendary 4.6-liter V8, The same engine that powered the Mustang GTs of its day, but tuned for endurance instead of speed. This thing was built on Ford's Panther platform, body-on-frame construction, the kind they don't make anymore. Simple, strong, easy to fix, and parts are everywhere. You could practically rebuild one of these in your own garage. Mechanics love it because it's one of those cars that just makes sense, no nonsense electronics, no fragile systems. Just oil changes, brakes, and it'll run forever. Owners regularly hit 300,000 miles, and it still idles smooth like it's just warming up. Fuel economy isn't great, sure, but reliability? It's unmatched. According to RepairPal, the average maintenance cost is around $450 per year, and almost every retired cop or cab driver you talk to will tell you the same thing. That car never let me down. The Crown Vic wasn't flashy, but it earned respect the old-fashioned way by showing up day after day, year after year. It's not just a car that refuses to die, it's a legend that refuses to be forgotten. If you've ever owned one of these tanks or you're still driving one that just won't quit, tell us in the comments. We love hearing those stories, the kind that prove these cars were built right. And hey, if you're new here and you enjoy real cars, not the overcomplicated stuff they make today, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the community. Leave a like if you respect machines that outlive trends, and share this video with someone who still believes good cars should last. And to wrap up this list, we've got a car that almost defines what it means to never let you down. The Toyota Avalon, built between 2005 and 2012, is one of those cars that quietly became a legend without ever trying. It's the car your neighbor bought brand new in 2006 and still drives today with over 300,000 miles on it. Cold AC, original transmission, and not a single warning light on the dash. The Avalon is what happens when Toyota takes everything good about the Camry and turns it into something smoother, stronger, and more refined. The 3.5-liter V6, 2GRFE, under the hood, is a masterpiece of longevity. It runs like new, even after decades of use. No turbo, no complicated electronics, just a beautifully balanced engine that wants to live forever. Inside, it feels like a Lexus without the badge. Soft leather, quiet cabin, everything built with that old Toyota precision. It's not flashy, but that's the point. It's for people who appreciate cars that work, not cars that pretend. According to Consumer Reports, it scores among the top sedans of its era for reliability and owner satisfaction. RepairPal estimates maintenance around $450 a year, and even mechanics will tell you, these things just don't quit. The Avalon isn't about excitement, it's about peace of mind. It's the kind of car you buy once, and then stop worrying about cars altogether. You know, maybe the best cars were never about fancy tech or big screens. Maybe they were about trust, that feeling when you turn the key and it just works. The truth is, these forgotten tanks weren't built to impress. They were built to last. And just like their owners, they've stood the test of time. They don't quit, they don't complain, and they just keep going. So if you're still driving one of these legends, take a second to appreciate it. You're part of a rare group that still knows what real cars feel like. And if you're new to this world, maybe it's time to find your own. Because sometimes peace of mind doesn't come from something new. It comes from something proven.